This is the air brake test for the Class B. First thing you guys have to identify, this is your primary air gauge and your secondary air gauge. Every single time that you see the needle on the primary air gauge is on the 125 psi, you guys will have to pump the truck 3 times so you lose air close to 100 psi. So we'll pump it 1, 2, 3 times. So now that is close to 100 psi, we're going to start our brake system. First thing I like to do is going to be a safety start. I'm going to put my seat belt. After I put my seat belt, I'm going to make sure my truck is in neutral and my brake is applied. Truck is in neutral and my brake is applied. You guys have to pull it. From here, first thing I like to perform is a safety start. So I'm going to put the key in the on position, 1 click to the right. I'm going to mention that my ABS light is on, my ABS light is off. This is a good test for the ABS light. Now I'm going to start my vehicle and I'm going to perform all my brake tests reading my primary air gauge. Make sure you guys pointing where is the primary air gauge. So to start the vehicle, pressing the clutch all the way and then start the vehicle. Release the clutch and first test I'm going to perform is my governor cutout test. For this test to be success, my governor should cut up no higher than 140 psi. For all my tests, I will use in my primary air gauge. Now as you see the needle start rising, you can press the fuel pedal no exceeding the 1200 RPMs. This is 1000 RPMs. This is 11,000, and the next one is going to be the 12. Always looking on the needle on the primary air gauge. When the needle is close to the 125, like it is right now, release the fuel and just wait. You guys will hear a song in the back. Please don't mention it right away. Wait like 5 seconds and then say it. This is a good test. My primary air gauge needle stopped at 123 psi. This is a good test. Now my next test I'm gonna perform is my leakage test. For this test to be success, I should not lose more than 3 psi in this vehicle. So I'm gonna put my vehicle in the low gear. So you guys gonna press the clutch, put it in the low gear, which is the second gear, and then you guys gonna turn off the vehicle. Put the key in the on position and release the brake. You guys gonna wait for the needles to settle. Once the needles are settled, you guys gonna release the truck brake. Once you release the truck brake, you guys gonna wait for the needle to settle one more time. Once the needle is settled, you guys gonna press the service brake and hold it all the way to the floor for 1 full minute. So we're gonna press it all the way to the floor, and then we're gonna look where is the needle on the primary air gauge. My needle has settled at 101 psi. I'm gonna start my minute now. If you're using your watch, if you're using your phone, please advise the examiner that is the only time that you guys gonna using your phone for timing this minute. You guys will hold in the brake for 1 minute and 5 seconds. Once the minute and 5 seconds pass, you guys will tell into the examiner. This is a good test. My needle is still at 101 psi. I don't lose any psi on my vehicle. This is a good test. And then release the brake. Next test I'm gonna perform is gonna be my low air warning test. For this test to be success, my warning light and buzzer should come up no lower than 55 psi. Once again, always looking the needle on the primary air gauge. So you guys gonna press the brake and release it. Press it and release it till the light and buzzer come out. My light and buzzer come out at 70 psi. This is a good test because it's not lower than 55. Next test I'm gonna perform is my spring brake pop-up. For this test to be success, my spring brake should pop up between 20 and 45 psi. You guys will continue fending the brake till the spring brake pop up. So press it till this one pop up. This is a good test. My parking brake pop up at 26 psi. This is a good test because it's in the range between 20 and 45 psi. Now I'm gonna build my air to the normal pressure, and to do that I'm gonna make sure my vehicle is in neutral because I'm gonna perform a safety start and start my vehicle. I'm gonna release my clutch. My truck is in neutral and my spring brake is applied. So I'm gonna wait for the air on my tanks to build to the normal pressure to proceed to perform my two-way brake test. I'm gonna accelerate the process, pressing the fuel, no exceeding the 1200 RPMs. Always looking the primary air gauge. When you see the needle is getting close to the 125, release the fuel. The needle is getting close to the 125. You guys gonna release the fuel and wait for the needle to settle. Once you see the needle is not moving, you guys will advise to the examiner. My tanks fill up to the normal pressure. I will proceed to perform my two-way brake test. First, I'm gonna put my vehicle in the low gear. So you guys gonna press the clutch, and then you guys gonna put it on the second gear. First, I'm gonna test my parking brake. For this test to be success, my parking brake should hold this vehicle when I try to move. You guys gonna release the clutch slowly. When you guys feel the vehicle tilt a little bit, that's all you guys need. This is a good test. My parking brake holds this vehicle in place. Now I'm gonna test my service brake. So you guys gonna press a little bit of service brake, not so hard, just a little bit, and then you guys gonna release the truck brake. I'm gonna move the vehicle forward. I'm gonna make sure, looking through all my mirrors, make sure it's safe to do so. For this test to be success, my service brake should hold this vehicle in place when I brake in. So you guys are gonna move forward. and then stop the vehicle. This is a good test. My service brake holding this vehicle in place. Now you guys gonna put the vehicle in the neutral, put the spring brake, and from here, this completes all my brake tests, and I will start my in-cab inspection while the vehicle is running.